Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Reaper, and what you will see is all of her skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, her skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Reaper. Here we go. And welcome to the skill slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the far left are all of her skills. On the far right is all the specials connected to those skills. And then next to the skill column is charges. That's how many times you can use the skill. And then hits is how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent. And then the column damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world, in the game world. And then the column damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage it'll do against another player's character. And of course you have the passive at the bottom. So I wanted to cover a few things while we're looking at the skills slide, and that is, first of all, she is just like her sister Raven. She uses the Shard of Darkness system. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it'll be clear by the end of this video. And let's see. Yeah, if you look at the specials and you see the words super armor in red and you look to the bottom left corner, that just means that super armor is not applied in arena, but everywhere else in the game it is. So for your you PvP people out there, be aware that those are the skills where super armor won't be with you in arena, but don't worry, we'll get to that as well. And to the far left in the skills column, I have colored some words purple and even highlighted one purple. So what this means is, if you use the skill Nightmare, which teleports you and puts you in a ball of energy, when you are in that state, you have the option to use Soul Reaver, Soul Spike, and Harvest. Any one of those, and you'll teleport to the target and do damage. So that's why Nightmare is the trigger to get it going, and then the other ones colored purple in the skill list are your options on what you can choose. And then we'll go over the passive in the PvP section of the video, but for now, take a look at all of the skills, and when you're ready, we'll go on to the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. So what I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, from the highest percentage damage all the way down to the lowest. And why it's colored in green is we can only take 8 skills with us into the game world, so these are the 8 that I'm recommending. Now, why did I choose Nightmare? It is clear from the previous slide you just saw. You really should put this in your rotation of skills to use, because it's a very, very important component of what Reaper is. And to deny her the ability to camouflage herself and you choose which skill you'd like to attack with, yeah, that would be damaging. I mean, that's a lot of fun. Why would you choose that over, say, Flesh Ripper at 276% damage when you know she's got it covered with Rift Slicer, Soul Spike, Soul Reaver, and even Fatal Cleave and Karshian's Wrath? I mean, all of these are over 1,000, so, you know, you should enjoy Nightmare. So we've covered all of the stuff from the previous slide, but there is some things I'd like to cover. Actually, just one thing. If you look at Scythe Mastery and you move over to the right where the specials are, and you see what's colored in green, it says max 3 attacks. I know what this means, and I want to share what it means in every video I make. What this means is, normally if you tap Scythe Mastery, it will attack once. What the max 3 attacks means is, if you tap and hold the button down or the skill down, she will attack a total of 3 times. So that's the maximum of 3 attacks if you pushed and held the skill down. So that's what that means. And that is pretty much it. I'm really impressed with the fact that she's got over 2,000% skills like Rift Slicer and Soul Spike. That really makes her damaging. But we're going to get into more details on the next slide. So take a moment to look at all this. And when you're ready, we'll go over the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. So let's go ahead and get the basics out of the way. I've taken all the skills and I've organized it according to the column of damage-PvP, from the highest percentage all the way down to the lowest. We covered a lot from the skill slide and the PvE slide, and I know that I said I would cover the passive on the PvP slide, but after doing some research, I'm going to move that to the enhancements slide, which is coming up in 2 more slides. I know I said the word slide a lot, but it'll become clear on how to activate your passive and what you can do with it. So for now, people who do PvP want to know, what can I use for super armor in arena? And that, I'm pleased to tell you, is Soul Spike. Your highest damaging single point skill gives you super armor and 2 immobilizations, knock back on the first hit and knock up on the last hit. So if you're fortunate to get them, oh my gosh, it's great. You immobilize them, hit them hard with some skills like Soul Reaver and Rift Slicer, and then go right into the next thing, which gives you super armor, which is Harvest. Now you can use that 5 times if you hold it down. It will give you super armor and refresh you, and it will daze on first hit. And if you get that daze on them, oh my gosh, you can just go right back to Soul Spike and hit him again and refresh your super armor again, or you can play around and do Nightmare, which should be off of cooldown, and toy with either Harvest, Soul Reaver, or Soul Spike again. So the options are right there for you. The only piece of this puzzle to connect it all is what you can do with the passive. So I promise I'll do it on the enhancements, but for now, let's go on to the skill combos, and I will see you there. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. So before we get into what this is all about, let's tell you where to find it. If you're in the game and you tap to bring up the pause screen or the interface where you can go to your skills, and then once you're in your skills, you look over to the left and kind of towards the middle, and you go straight down, and you'll see a little icon that looks like a magnifying glass, and you tap on that and you'll bring this up. A list of skill combos window. You may need to scroll up and down to see everything, but that's why I put it all on one screen for you. It's so you could, I don't know, print it out or have it on another monitor if you're playing on an emulator, and you can practice while the skill combo screen is on the other side, or excuse me, the other monitor. So I'm trying to make it very easy for you to visually see this and practice. This is for if you're like, I like the character but I just don't know what skills to choose and how to play. Pearl Abyss has given you this screen so that you can practice with what they're recommending. Now that that's out of the way, let's tell you how it works. On the left side of the screen is the skills that are in blue. Those are the ones you would start out with. So let's go with the PvP slide we just got through doing, where I recommended you start out with Nightmare. So do they. See, the one in blue, the second one down, is Nightmare. And what they're saying is chain it to any one of these 4 skills. Soul Reaver next, Karshan's Wrath next, Soul Spike, or Harvest. And I said you should do Soul Spike so you can get your super armor. And they agree with me. See, Nightmare to Soul Spike. Now, all of the other ones, like at the very top of Death Circus to Soul Reaver or Harvest, play around with it. Use this probably on the creatures of the world so you can get very comfortable with it. And then you will go into a PvP area feeling very comfortable with chaining your skills together because you started here. And if you feel like you're the advanced player, you will know which ones you prefer and which ones you want to do. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. We have a lot to cover here, so let me just knock out all the basics. If you are new to this slide, let me tell you how the interface works. On the far left side is the names of all of the skills, her skills. On the far right is the branch damage connected to all these skills. In the center is 4 columns. The first one, second, and fourth I make to benefit your Reaper. The third column is things that happen to the creature or opponents you're fighting in the game world. Now, sometimes it doesn't work out that way, you know, because I get more than one negative thing that happens against a creature or your opponent, and I just have to move it into an adjacent column, but this is the basic layout. Now, let's go ahead and get back to what I promised, and that is the talk on the passive. So Reaper's passive, it says it creates 1 shard of darkness every 5 seconds. Okay, it'll automatically do that. It'll create that shard of darkness for you. But there's 2 things to get at, and that is the 10% adventurer damage for 15 seconds when you create a shard of darkness. Okay. Looking at your enhancements, because your skills doesn't supply this for you. It's only in the enhancements. And I gotta explain about that a little bit more, but let's go here. If you look at Shadow Slash, which is the 5th one down, all the way over to the right, create 1 shard of darkness when using skill. So Shadow Slash and Rift Slicer, the one below it, and Harvest. These 3 enhancements creates a shard of darkness to allow you to get the adventurer damage plus 10% for 15 seconds because you created a shard of darkness, and that is how you activate that. Now, the second half of your passive is how do I get the PvP damage received minus 10%? So how do I get that negative 10% receiving when I'm PvPing for 15 seconds? It looks like I need to consume a shard of darkness, and there's only one enhancement you have that consumes, and that is the 3rd one down, Soul Reaver. And it says when you unlock this enhancement, it'll give you 44% extra damage, and it uses 3 shards and activates that part of the passive. Now, here's the good news. If you go into your skills and you're looking at the skill for Soul Reaver, you'll notice right from the start of character creation that she can tap on the shard to the shard skill to unlock this and allow you to use 3 shards. So that's great news. I didn't explain this, but every enhancement is either going to be one you can tap and pay silver to unlock, or you need to get skill books and get up to a certain level to pay the silver to unlock the enhancement. And the way you get these skill books is fighting mobs or creatures in Elion or Hadum. Basically anywhere in the game, they will drop these skill books, but sometimes it's random, the books that you get. You might be going for, say, Shadow Slash, and you've been getting books for Death Circus all this time, and you finally get one for Shadow Slash. So just keep at it. Now, the bad news is that the 3 enhancements I told you to activate the Adventurer's damage to create a Shard of Darkness has a level requirement. It's level 2. And I can tell you that it takes 3 skill books to get you to level 2. So that's not too bad. Farming and getting it, you just gotta keep at it. But once you do, and you have those skill books, you want to unlock Shadow Slash and Rift Slicer and Harvest for the enhancement that creates a Shard of Darkness so you can activate your passive. I know you might be like, dude, that's just messed up. Why would I want to go through all the effort? It's because you're getting a damage buff of 10% for 15 seconds. You know how many people you can kill in a PvP area for 15 seconds? So this is what you need to do, and this is how you do it. When we go to the player card screen, you can see everything, and it'll just make much more sense. So that is the beef and the whole thing I wanted to talk about. But there is 2 more things, and that is, if you look at Soul Spike, you notice how the word has a purple and red. There's something that Pearl Abyss did, and I'm gonna take a little bit of time to explain. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Here we go. And just like that, we are back. I had to bring up a screen and compose myself, because here we go. Alright, let's look at the skill Soul Spike. Now, that is your highest damage dealing PvP skill. And I recommended that you use Nightmare so that you can teleport to your opponent using Soul Spike and begin your assault. But there's an enhancement that seems to go against that. So you'll notice when you're looking at the enhancements for Soul Spike, there's the Shard, which gives you plus 60 attack for 10 seconds on hit. Then there's a skill cooldown that takes you from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. And then there's a flow. I am highly recommending, do not unlock this flow. If you do, it is a personal choice and you can't go back. Maybe if you remove the skill, but that's just a big mess. This flow, if you read it, it's basically saying that if you unlock this, then when you do Nightmare mode and you tap the Soul Spike skill, you're not going to teleport anymore. It says it doesn't teleport anymore in Nightmare mode. Why would you ever want to handicap yourself like that? There must be a really good reason I'm not seeing, but I am advising you, do not unlock this flow. If there is a good reason and you see that reason, then be my guest. But if you're just unlocking everything because you want to unlock everything, I'm advising to not unlock this, because it will be a big disappointment when you go into Nightmare, use Soul Spike, and your character's just standing there, not teleporting, not doing anything, if that's truly what this does. Now, if you have the time to create another character and unlock this flow to check it out and verify that it's a text issue, then be my guest, contact me. I will update this video with what actually happens. Now, that is Soul Spike. That's the reason I have the other word colored in red, is because there's something important I want to talk to you about. The other one is Harvest. And when it comes to people who do PvP, they covet their super armor very much. If you look at the skill if you look at the skill Harvest, it has a max of 5 attacks gives you super armor and dazes on first hit, and you can use this in arena. Once again, you have the option to unlock an enhancement that replaces super armor and gives you forward guard. So I don't know why I would ever want to do that. If you're a person who truly loves forward guard, and for those who don't know what forward guard is, it just means that anyone who's in front of you and tries to damage you will be very minimal, if not nothing. But if they get behind you, then they can damage you. So as long as they're in front of you, then you're good. But the super armor is what people really want. So I don't know why you would give that up, especially because you could use it in arena for a forward guard. So this is the reason why Harvest is half colored in red, is I wanted to bring that to your attention. Those two things, Soul Spike and Harvest. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we will move on to the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. This is like a baseball card. It is all of the screens or slides you saw previously, all on one screen, and there's one thing that's new. So this is meant for those people that if they're interested in Reaper and they wanted to just check it out, they don't have much time, they can come to the player card section of my character profile videos and see what they like, and then come back and learn all the details in these videos so that they can get a clear understanding of this character. So let me go ahead and introduce the interface. At the very top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills I recommend. To the right is something new. It's called immobilization. You did hear me talk about this previously, and what this means is anything that will stun, knock down, freeze, bound, anything that immobilizes your opponent is listed here. In green, that you do have one, red that you don't, and if it's green, how many do you have? And I've been talking about this throughout the video, but Soul Spike is your coveted skill throughout all of this video for Reaper, because she has 2 immobilizations. Looking at all of her skills, just about almost all of her skills have an immobilization to it. Nightmare is your teleport, Rift Slicer just doesn't have it, and Scythe Mastery and Grim Reaper is your basic attack and your heal component, which those two will never have an immobilization. But this is this section so that you're aware that, hey, Soul Spike really is a very awesome skill I should be using as much as I can, because it has 2 immobilizations, but just make sure that it's in your skills that you cycle. So below that is all of the skills, and below that is the enhancements, and there's a legend at the bottom for what SOD means. That's Shards of Darkness. And I didn't cover this in the enhancements slide because I was still emotional, sorry about that, but if you look at Soul Reaver once again, all the way over to the far right where it says heal 400 HP per hit, the reason why heal is colored that way, if you look at the legend, is because it's not applied in Path of Glory. So anywhere else in the game, even in Arena, you'll have the heal, but when you go to Path of Glory, she won't heal herself when she uses that skill. So that's what that means. And at the very bottom, if you're at a loss for what forward guard and super armor means or is, I give you the definitions. So let's go ahead and just cover that. Forward guard, this means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. Once again, they need to be in front of you, or maybe off to the right or the left in front, but definitely in front of you. If they're behind you, then they can damage you. Super armor, and again, this is what all PvP people covet. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. So in the world of Raminis and Arena and just every single PvP thing you can do, including open world PvP with your guild. Super armor is everything. And if you can get an immobilization on your opponent, it's because their super armor ran out and it's just bad luck for them. But good luck for you. So if you're not throwing the immobilizations out, then you won't get that chance that they will fall flat on their face and you can get free hits in. That's why you would immobilize them. So let's see, is there anything else that I didn't cover? I'm pretty much sure that I covered everything. I really like these player cards because you can just look at everything. And no, I think that was it. So what's going to happen now is the music is going to change and we're going to go into the gameplay video where we show you what Reaper can do. So if you're ready, let's move on to that. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, we need to show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we're over here at Kron Castle entrance. We're here because we love it here. Their CP is that low, and our CP is that high. She'll be just fine. So what we'll do is we will use our autopath here. We'll have Reaper fight for about 2 or 3 minutes, at which time we will have her go back to town. I will give my outro and say thank you. So, without further ado, I am pleased to present the class Reaper. Here we go. She's just about ready to head back to town. There we go. Alright. So while the loading screen comes up, let me take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know I am always making more videos, updating videos, creating new videos. All for the purpose of making this game fun and enjoyable for you. So what we're going to do now is just move the camera so we can showcase her and put her in that spot. Have her give a wave too. There we go. Once again, thank you all so much, and you have a great day. Take care. Bye now.